I'm just saying.
It's called the meeting to order, and all rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, it's got to be your job. Yeah.
It's on,
We got to thank you.
right after, right after the agenda item. Minutes.
Okay, roll call, Jen.
Rod. Here. Nicole.
Here.
Dave. Here. Carolyn.
Here.
Deb.
Here. Anybody have any comments? Yes, sir.
For future caucus meetings like we just had, would it be possible to have the candidates just get up for a couple of minutes and introduce themselves and say who they are? I'm relatively new to the area, so I didn't know a lot of the people that were
Running?
nominated or running. So I guess just going forward, could they do that?
Do that, yeah. And who are you?
My name is John Bauer.
Yeah, we can.
Do I have to make a motion to do that, or is that
No,
just
you don't.
okay?
Anybody else? Comments? All right, approval of town board minutes from December 9th, 2024.
I move to approve the town board meeting minutes from December 9th, 2024.
Can you get a second? Carolyn, you seconded? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of town board meeting minutes for December 30th, 2024. Need a motion?
I move to approve the town board meeting minutes of December 30th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Dorothy, do you have anything for planning commission? No report. For our highway, I did get a price. We have some issues in the back shop. We've got carbon monoxide leaking all over the place. The venting is really bad and rusted through, and the seals on all the doors are terrible. So I talked to Joe Steeney. He's getting me a price. He said it would be cheaper to put a furnace in with new vent work instead of tearing down all that tubing. He said the labor costs on that would be tremendous. So he's getting us a price for that. I did get a price from Clark Landscaping for all the seals and the walkthroughs. And that came in at $1711.96.
The demolition would be bad on that, or the installation would be bad on that?
Taking any ductwork out would be bad, would be lengthy and time consuming for labor. Because that ductwork, the tubes that are actually the ductwork are all rusted. There's holes in them.
I guess I'd be willing to get a quality system in there. I guess I'd be willing to donate my time to tear out the old so you can put in the new. Because we had forced air that way in that building before, and it didn't work. It doesn't work in that building. You roll in a cold piece of equipment, it stays cold. It doesn't warm up. So if you gotta work on it, do things to it, melt the ice off, and so stuff works, it takes forever.
He was also talking about eliminating the other furnace and cutting a hole in the wall, wasn't it, Kurt?
No, they were gonna leave the one with the radiant heat in the shop where the Freightliner's parked,
Yeah.
and that was in good shape yet.
But wasn't he gonna cut a hole in the wall so that they
Right,
could put a
that
fan
way,
in?
that way you could turn the radiant heat off, but if you needed it, you could still use it. They were gonna put the furnace in the back shop, put a hole in the wall between the two with a fan that would pull the heat to the other side. If you didn't need the radiant heat, if you needed the radiant heat, you could turn that on.
Right.
Not in the back portion, just in the front portion of the Freightliner's park.
But right now, the way that is, that carbon monoxide that's in there is not a good situation.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree that it needs to be new, but
So,
just like to make sure that we get something in that's gonna work, that we put something in, and, because we can't let the building freeze, because the side where the big dump truck is, or whatever, how you wanna look at that, the one with the mezzanine, that's where the water comes into the building. Of course, the other half has got water in it, so, but,
you'd have to keep it warm so that the water don't freeze, that's the whole idea.
exactly.
So,
Well, can we get more,
well, we gotta get price first, because I haven't gotten a price from you yet, from C's.
well, but what I was gonna say,
Or a
can,
competitive bid.
Mhm.
Here's what I'm saying.
yeah, competitive
Go
bids. Yeah,
And
But
if we
anyway,
go-
that's out there.
And if we go down to one furnace, then if that fails, there's no heat in the building at all. Where right now, basically, there's 3 of them in there, so if one of them fails, we still have heat in the building.
But keep in mind,
No, Rod, they're not gonna take out the one in the front part where the Freightliner is. That one's in good shape yet. They're just gonna turn it off. So if the one in the back, if the one they're talking about putting in fails, the radiant heat in that front shop is still there, and that's kind of what's heating the building right now. Because the back one's turned down to 45, the one by the Freightliner's turned up to 55, so that's more or less heating the whole building right now.
So it's turned on to what?
The back shop is turned down to 45, so that one barely runs. The front shop, where the Freightliner's parked, that one's at 55, and that's more or less heating the whole building right now. It's running more than I don't think the back one really kicks on right now with just the front one running, but the back shop is fairly cold.
So in case we need to load salt or sand, I think that,
The tractor will start. I mean, at 45 degrees, it's warm enough for that tractor back there. So it starts.
well, I think my question was, are you gonna put it out for bids?
I just wanted to make the board aware
Oh,
of the problem that we have back there,
yeah,
and
okay.
that I'm in the process of getting prices.
okay.
I kinda jumped the gun because it's on here,
Okay, okay,
but it was part of the report,
okay.
so. And then also, we got the grant, so that's another big thing. And we also got a thank you card from Bert,
Oh,
and,
did he hear us talking about it?
no, I'm sure not, flavored cranberries. So you got watermelon, cherry,
What's a big one?
s'mores. So anyway, there's a variety in there. Blueberry. So any of you that are interested in a snack, help yourself.
So I have a question about Stott. Does that mean that we are going to start that next year then? Or what is the,
Right now, John and I are working on the, the SMA, which is the specs.
okay,
And then we'll get that done, and then we have to send that into the state. They'll send us the main letter. And then hopefully we'll be able to do the engineering this year.
oh, okay, okay.
So go over it again, if you will, please, about where it is and what we're doing, what you're applying for.
Scott, grant, we got. The total amount was $1,569,000. We are limited to a maximum of 90%. So we're eligible for $1,376,000 at $76,013. Okay? And the limit is approved for the improvement, whichever is less. So, I mean, if the bid would come in less, we're gonna get 90% of that.
Did you get any feedback on Drake at all?
Yeah, it was declined.
That's all you got?
Yeah,
Really?
yep.
You'd think that would.
Thank you for your interest.
Oh,
That's what you got.
Okay.
If I had to guess, Mullins probably played a factor in it.
Okay.
One of the round one proposals that got approved was a road that serviced Mullins as well. Mullins up in,
Knowlton?
yeah.
Yeah, that one got.
That's my guess.
Right.
That was the first
They were
round,
pretty
wasn't it?
similar grant proposals because there's not a whole lot, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of difference as far as, you know, road conditions and stuff. I mean, I suppose there was, because Drake is gravel, isn't it, so.
Right.
I would
Yeah,
have
I
thought we
mean-
would've got Drake over Stott.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
that-
we're-
yeah, and there was a UW farm on there, so
Yeah.
I don't know. Mullins is the only thing that immediately came to mind for
Mhm.
getting approved, just because of that first round.
But I had thought Drake with the research center on there.
Yes, exactly.
And I thought I took some pretty good crappy pictures. There were some stickers on that road, so,
Well,
That's-
that and the use that's there
Yeah.
versus Stott, Stott. Just from the applications that we got, or the ones that I dropped off,
yeah,
I was surprised that one got it.
yeah.
Interesting.
That's a little over 2 miles,
From C all the way to 97.
except not quite the approach.
Yeah, so that make the
Stop at
difference
the
in the
approach.
length.
Pardon?
That make the difference in the length versus
Mhm.
Drake.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about a mile difference.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And then I know they applied for one with Cleveland. They applied together. That was 4.5 million. They didn't get it.
Yeah.
I think when they're doing this, and this is just my thought, they try to give out as many as they possibly
Yes.
can.
Spread it around.
Yeah. And maybe next year we'll have another one. But that's it for me. Rob, library,
Nothing at this time.
buildings and grounds, Nicole?
So we have the fans installed, the switches installed, they look really nice, they look and work great so far. We've had the lights installed, so I'm working on the Focus with energy credit right now. We also had a quote for the lights on the garage. I have not received that because we're waiting for the 2025 Focus credits before we get that information back. So that will be coming. We've had issues with the door opening at the pavilion. It's happened to Rod, it's happened to me, it's happened to somebody in the audience as well. And then I also had Casey come look at it because I think he thought I was full of baloney. So he was able to see that it does not always work and it unlocks, but you can't turn the door to get it open. So we are working on fixing that. We will probably have to replace the lock and the door on it. And I think it might be in our best interest to also replace the back door because it has that key lock. So if we can't get in one door, we can at least get in the other door. We're looking into that as well. This just all came up in the last hour discussion that I had with Casey, so more to come. There is enough money in the park fund that I could use to purchase a new door if need be. So that's what I have. Oh, and there's a lot of rentals coming in. John and I have been working on keeping our calendar updated. We have a digital calendar, and I think it's been working rather well because sometimes they may contact me or they may contact John, and we just write notes back and forth to each other. There are rentals, a couple in February already. March is pretty open. I think there's one rental, and April's pretty quiet yet, but then they're starting to pick up for graduations and a couple weddings again in the summer. So that's all I have on buildings and grounds.
And Nicole, to answer your question about capacity,
Yep.
I refigured those with Edward Mueller from the city. It's 120 people without the table set up and 100 people with the table set up.
Okay. So I can update, I did put a sign in there, so I'll update the numbers, but thank you for doing that.
Nicole,
Yeah,
is our lawnmower on the recall list?
I didn't get anything in the mail.
It
Did you,
hasn't
Jen?
been,
There
there's
was
been nothing in the mail,
recalls
but
on
it's been on the news a lot.
There was recalls on it, and it had been, from what I understand, it was fixed last fall. It took a while to get parts, because I was unhooking the battery cables off it. They said not to leave it inside a building with the battery cables hooked up. So,
Because this just came out like within the last month and a half at the most.
Don't they
They
usually
could
send
start on fire.
don't they usually send a letter if there's a recall?
Yeah.
I think so.
when we had it
I
up,
got a recall.
like I said,
here.
when we had it up for its maintenance last spring, they had a component that needed to be pulled out because if you leave the power on it, it could just break into flames. So I'm gonna say that it's probably the same part.
I can call and just to make sure, especially if it just came out, but I'll just double check. I'll give a call.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Garbage and recycling, Dave.
We had an issue with an individual whose garbage was not picked up for 6 to 8 times. I think we got that resolved. It was, if any of you know or have problem, I called Chad up at Weston, and there's GPS on the trucks. There's, every time the arm goes down, it takes a picture and a time. So, for the wise ones in the audience, put it out the night before, or before, whatever it says, 5 a.m. in the morning. The other thing that was in the buyer's guide was this article. I don't know if any of you saw it. That's for the recycling, tire recycling, the April 26th of 2025 out at Pancratz's again. It also gives you what materials can be put in there, electronic devices they will take down there, but they charge for them. Plastic bags, film, and wrap should not be placed in the recycling cart that Waste Management picks up. Clean and dry plastic bags and film can be dropped off at Marshfield at Pick and Save. That's the Walmart bags, that sort of stuff. They're buckling down on all those things. Pick and Save, Festival Foods, Walmart, or Target. Look for the recycling containers in those stores. And then the individual sizes are listed in there, what can be taken, what can't be taken, and what the charges are. So if anybody else has any questions, are we going to do something with that individual?
Oh, you're talking, yes, there's a gentleman, AT, who has called multiple times, and Dave has called multiple times, and I know John has sent messages to Waste Management. He does not get his garbage picked up. He's had 8 missed weeks.
3 months. He called me today.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that he's missed 8 weeks. I know that, because I've gotten that many calls. So, if you would want to compensate him in any way, today his conversation with me was, he was going to try to sue the board or sue Waste Management or whatever. So if you wished to reimburse him his portion for 2 months, 8 weeks, it would be $50.98. He's an older gentleman, very older, much older. Difficult for him to get it out there. He usually has to have somebody else come and do it and return it, because he struggles to do that.
So Waste Management hasn't gotten back to anybody about that?
Well,
Yes.
today finally,
Yeah, I had a text, and they got it squared away. They changed out both carts, so you can't mix them up, is what happened. So,
He was putting the wrong ones out.
not always, because he had,
No.
he had the gray on gray, which is the same as what Carolyn has. He had that up Friday, and they did not pick it up. So,
and at, I think one point in time or two, it was too far in, the driver couldn't get it. It's gotta be on the edge of the road.
yes.
That brings up a good point. I haven't had the pleasure to plow it here yet, but Richfield is horrible with it. I don't know, John, if you can do a thing on Facebook, I don't know how many people actually read that, but garbage belongs at the end of your driveway, in your driveway, not on the shoulder of the road.
Yeah, not on the road. Yeah.
He's supposed to match your mailbox.
Not this time, but the last time.
Yeah.
It's 10 points every time you can put one in the ditch.
Okay, any other questions? Thanks.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to reimburse this gentleman. He called, I mean, I don't know whether this is the time or
Might as
not.
well.
I think because he was extremely upset. He called me. He said he remembered me because he taught my son how to play hockey. And so, anyway, he said, 3 months I have had a problem. 3 months that this has happened to me. And I would like to be reimbursed. So I think 8 weeks is maybe just give him the 3 months and then instead, yes. Very upset.
I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and he was ready to dump it in the parking lot. I said, please don't do that. I will get to the bottom of it. And I called Chad. Chad got back to me, texted me the pictures and the times and what was out there, so.
I have a question. Are feed bags recyclable?
Pardon me?
Are feed bags recyclable?
Which kind?
Plastic or,
No, they're
No,
not
plastic,
plastic, but yeah,
What do
they-
you think that is?
like regular feed bag, like for chicken feed or
Right.
whatever?
Right.
or the bags you get from the feed mill. You know,
Which
they
is,
can't reuse.
which is,
they're
paper.
woven, plastic woven.
I
I've
would
been
assume
sending
the
a
woven.
recyclable for the last 5 years, I've had no problem.
I would
Which
think.
ones, both of them?
Feed bags, the
Yeah.
50
Put 'em
pounders.
in, do you put them in the,
Recycle bin. Yes.
just right in the bin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
I
like
bundle
your
them up and
papers and all
I
that
did that
stuff,
too,
yeah.
didn't know if it was usable.
They never had a problem with it.
I've got a question about the guy on T with the garbage. So, he's doing it wrong and that's why it's not getting picked up? Is that what's happening? Like he's,
At one point, it wasn't,
He may have done that once, or whoever took it down for him may have. His garbage can got damaged, hurt, broke, the lid came off, and so he got new ones. So I think that's where through Waste Management, so I think that's where the confusion came in, because it was a totally different color than what he had before, and they just stopped picking it up.
so if we reimburse him, is like somebody gonna educate him so that,
Yes, we have,
okay.
We
and
have
his
many
son,
times,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So,
And Waste Management knows we're gonna pay them $50.80 less because they're not doing their job.
Well, that's up to you, that ain't up to me.
I don't think we
say
should
no.
pay Waste Management. If they're not doing their job, they shouldn't get paid.
they're already paid, that's already on their tax bill, so,
on the tax.
yeah.
That's
So
what he did.
it's gonna be up to us.
Yeah, it's divided out on the tax bill.
I mean, when we first started this garbage thing, not everybody in the town wanted it, but it passed, so everybody paid the same price. So, a lot of times, I don't take my garbage down maybe for 2 months, because I don't accumulate that much. I don't expect a reimbursement, because I can bitch.
Yeah, but he does put his out every week, and so,
Well, that's good.
They need
yeah,
somebody
but
to do
so,
that.
but he has paid, and so, I don't know. Anyway,
It's up to you.
Oh, there's a motion, do we have a second?
A second so we can discuss it.
Some more.
we've already discussed it. So, well, you're a garbage guy, so what do you have to say?
Well, the motion's on the floor, right?
Yes.
We've talked all we want to about it.
I
So it'd
think-
be what, how much?
If you go 2 months, 2 months was $50.49. 3 months is $76.47.
Yes, my question would be, would you be happy with 2 months?
Yes. Yes, because I've never heard the 3-month thing, but I do know this has been going on for 2 months, and he calls me. It just happens because my name is out there for tax bills and whatnot, otherwise, you know, he'd be, and we go through the same process. I passed it to Dave, and Dave tries to get a hold of him. I know John has also sent Chad emails when we have issues and things. So they've been notified more than once, and then the next week, we have it right back.
I think we should also send a bill to Waste Management, say you owe us $50.80.
49.
49, sorry. And, I mean, they're not doing their job, honestly, and then they will stop. I mean, if Chad's not gonna return phone calls, it's not fair to that resident.
To be fair, Nicole, he didn't initially, like, 2 or 3 months ago, I got nothing out of it. Then I took a different attitude with him, and now I've been communicating with him, and he's been pretty prompt
So, but we still missed 2 months for this guy.
for this guy, so, and that's,
But my opinion on this a little bit is, the city used to, I don't know if because they got companies now that do it, but it used to be that if the wrong thing was in the wrong container or out in the wrong time, they would leave a note on the said garbage can that this is a recyclable can or this is a garbage can, not vice versa, or we did not pick it up because it was too far in, we couldn't reach it. I mean, some notification from the garbage company directly to the
That was quite a few years ago though, when
And
recycling
use
first
it.
started, it was the red
Yeah.
tag deal, to where if it wasn't right, they would red tag it, they would leave it set there, they would come back the next day and pick it up if you called them. But yeah, they would red tag the stuff if you had garbage in your recycling or recycling in your garbage, just to educate people. They don't do it anymore, they just pick it up.
I don't think they're allowed to get out of their trucks anymore.
No,
I know a
they're
couple,
not.
garbage people and they're not allowed, they're not supposed to be getting out of their trucks at all.
The only ones that can get out.
What's the motion?
Well, the motion is to
I have
reimburse them for
reimburse
the 8
$50.49, but I don't have who it's going to.
It's going to Gary Gustafson.
So the motion on the floor is reimburse Gary Gustafson $50.49 for garbage issues.
I mean, you guys did the talking with it, and the garbage company, we can prove the fact that it wasn't picked up.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, just so we have verification, so somebody, I mean, I understand out there in the crowd is, if we give this guy this money, then the next person's gonna be there, but if they can be justified that the cans were out there, problems were found, and they seriously didn't pick up the garbage, then.
How would you prove that? I mean, they take
Chad,
pictures.
Chad has, there's
They take
GPS,
pictures.
so they take a picture every time the arm goes down.
But if they weren't picking it up, the arm isn't gonna go down.
So there would be no picture for picking up
Yeah,
the
that's
address.
Take pictures, yeah.
So
Well,
the proof is
and
there's
then
nothing there.
there's months where I don't put anything out either, so there
Mhm.
would be no picture.
Right. But I'm just saying, how do you prove that he actually has it out there?
Well, his word
But
is
he's
fine,
been
he is,
calling,
he has complained.
and they don't go back out and get it.
Yeah.
They used to do that, you know, if you called and said, hey, this is what's happened, you know, we educate the people and then they come, you know. But this I know it's a driver problem and he doesn't understand the difference in the color. Because I think originally you guys were green, the bases, the bottoms are green, but they don't have those anymore, so they went to a gray. So, and when
We
that
have one, I
happened,
think ours is green yet.
yeah, so it kind of got all goofy, and I don't know if it's because of the driver or whatever,
And
it's
they've
just not
got
happening.
different drivers too, and that, you know, one doesn't, so.
I don't know.
All right, let's call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Anything else for Dave?
Wow.
Oh, that garbage is not getting picked up behind the garage, the big,
Oh, yeah, it is. Actually, there's a different pouch in there.
it is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because when I checked it
It's a
on,
different pouch.
They might have
you
switched,
gotta be kidding
they
me.
might have switched the pickup day. We got a notice saying,
Oh.
that we're changing your pickup day, and I'm like, I didn't know anything about this.
But
so-
yeah, they did pick up the one for,
Yep, when I stopped down there
this
that
is a
week,
different pouch.
we were getting picked up, we normally get picked up every other week on Thursday, but that was, New Year's week I stopped down there to take the other one down that was out back there. They picked up on Friday, so it was emptied on Friday,
Okay.
but there's a different one in there now.
So we got a new pouch
Yep.
in the garbage. I have no
Well, I'm
idea.
glad it got picked up then, because I had been taking garbage from the
They
pavilion
should
to
pick
the
up next week
outside.
Thursday if you wanna check again.
Okay, I didn't know, this is a timing issue, I guess.
All right, Carolyn, policies and procedures.
Well, Nicole has a good start on them, and then I took over. Donna and I are working on the policies and procedures. Newsletter, where that's gonna be coming up.
When do you want articles in?
Do we usually in the spring, when do we put it out in March?
And we have been.
Yes, I mean, we're right, like at the 1st of March, so get it, it would be maybe
I would
the
say,
last week of February, get your articles in.
I was gonna say, because we could get it out the second or third week of March, that should work.
That would be
That way they
enough
can have
time,
that
yeah,
annual
so
report
the
to
last
look
week
at.
of February, I'd like articles for the newsletter.
I don't know who's gonna write it up or where it should come from, but I think we should put a good article in there of where to place your garbage and your recyclable cans in relationship to the, your driveway and the roadway.
I can do that.
Okay.
Is there any of them here that leave all week long?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we've got
Pump it.
Probably about 10 people.
At least that.
Put them in a ditch.
I don't wanna get that, I mean, I don't wanna get that far yet.
Blame me
We
for it.
are getting, the thing is, we are gonna get there, and the thing is, I have one, I think I bumped one this last week. I mean, I try not to hit them, but if I bump it and I hit it and it goes over, I don't feel bad, I'm sorry. But, I mean, especially when it's like Monday and garbage day was Friday, and, I mean, I get people go on vacation, so, you know, it's gonna be out through the weekend, but when the week rolls around again and they're still sitting out there.
When they're empty, the snow can push them over easy, but it's,
Well, I think that's what I did, because I don't think I even hit it with a wing, I think it just,
if you gotta swerve around it to plow, then you're not.
but I think we need to give everybody the doubt too and show them where they're supposed to be done.
Maybe you can draw a map. And put it in there, you know, lined up with the driveway. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check
That's
with
good.
Chad.
See if they
He should have something.
Yeah.
You should have a template we can use.
All right, Nicole, ordinances, anything?
I have no updates on ordinances.
Fire department, Lori?
Since our last meeting in December, we had 9 EMS calls, 2 fire calls, 1 canceled en route, 1 false alarm, 1 motor vehicle accident, 1 mutual aid. Speaking of furnaces, the meeting room furnace at the fire department went out last week. I spent pretty much all day on Friday trying to get someone out to look at it. House of Heating came and looked at it. It's the heat exchanger. That's the original furnace when the building was built in 1995. So I got 3 quotes from 3 different people to replace the furnace. Rival Plumbing for $4,920. It is a 120,000 BTU stainless steel heat exchanger, lifetime warranty on the heat exchanger, 10-year warranty on parts, and that total is labor and materials.
Riegels, you said?
Riegels,
Yep.
yep. House of Heating, they quoted me 35,000 BTU, 10-year limited warranty on heat exchanger, 1-year limited parts. This one includes tax and labor for $5,790. And Comfort Systems quoted me a Train 120,000 BTU, 1-year service warranty for $4,998.
4,000 what?
$998.
Rivals was 4,093.
Riegels was 4,920.
Oh, 920.
So looking at everything, comparing the two, I would like to go with Riegel Heating because they have the unlimited, the lifetime warranty on the heat exchanger. Nobody else can give you a lifetime warranty, everybody else can do a 5 or a 10-year.
Any of those would replace an AC unit right away and put an AC unit.
That's the whole, no, there's nothing wrong with the AC unit, it's just our heater.
How old is the AC?
It's not as old as the
It's
furnace,
not
'cause
as
I know it
old as
wasn't
the
done that
furnace.
way.
That might be what, 10 years younger than the furnace?
Yeah.
Because right now we have all the apparatus doors open from the apparatus floor to the meeting room to try and keep the pipes from freezing right now.
And then this is one that's up in the ceiling too. The heating unit and the air conditioning unit are separate.
Right.
Ductwork wise, so I mean,
So I will need board approval to get someone in there to replace the heating unit for us.
What about the possibility of a discount by combining the 2 furnace works?
How long can you wait?
I can't wait.
She's
I
got a
can't.
furnace in there.
Yeah.
I've got apparatus doors open right now and it's cooling down our apparatus floor. And I'm having trouble keeping heat in there right now to keep the pipes from freezing.
That's because it's cold.
Yeah, I know. I know. I have all cabinet doors open that I can possibly have open and all doors in the meeting room open to try and keep heat going to the pipes.
How soon can they install it?
Riegels can install it. I think he said the week of the 13th, which would be today. No, the week of the 20th, sorry.
I said, you got a whole week, you gotta mess with that.
Yeah, everybody else is kind of booked out that far too. But this is supposed to be the coldest week, and I think we can do what we have to keep the pipes from freezing until they can get this approved.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to, for you to purchase the, whatever it is you need from Rifles for $4,000.
But that didn't include tax, or that, we should.
The total labor and materials, you
Yeah.
have to pay tax.
Yeah, so it should be 490.
Yep. And I kind of figured out, house heating, he's still way more expensive than these other two without the tax.
And if we were to have issues with the, does Rikers 24/7 support like
Yep.
was it? I can't remember.
Yep, they do. Yep.
And we have used that in the past, not for heating, but we used it for their plumbing.
Oh, okay.
We had to have a well done, so.
Did we have a second on that motion?
Yes.
We need a second on that
I
motion.
second.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Next item is fire call reimbursement from the state. I filled out my first form and sent it in. It got sent back. Because when I went on the website, they had the old form and not the new one, so I gotta refill that out. Second, when I signed in the bill saying we attempted to bill, the bill has to come from the township. It cannot come from the fire department. So this goes back to you guys where you need to meet and figure out if we're gonna bill.
I think we already determined that. Donna, weren't you going to, who does the billing, treasurer or clerk?
Well, I have to, fire department wise, I have to fill my fire department bill out, submit it to the township. The township then has to attempt twice to collect from either individual or insurance company. And they have to document it, and all that has to be sent in with this.
Okay, so which one of you have to do that? Whose job is it?
No, we need to figure out if you are billing, period, because if you're billing, we're billing everybody, we're not billing
Well,
just.
that'll have to be an agenda item.
That's why I'm saying, it needs to go back to the board to decide if we're billing or not. Blasting permit I received for Stretch Quarry has been renewed for 1 year. Burning permits,
I'm gonna put that on the agenda for.
I've had multiple people call, say, I want to burn today, and oh yeah, by the way, I already called the county. That's not how burning permits work. You have to call the fire chief first, get my approval, and then you call the county. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to look at different options on how to do burning permits. Because this last week, I had 4 people call me and say, I want to burn today. Oh yeah, by the way, I already called the county, it's all done. No, that's not the process. And I will also put it in the newsletter, the process for burning permits.
Yeah, good.
All DOTs have been done on all the vehicles and they all passed. January 27th is the 2% dues audit. I took a vacation day from work so I can be there and be available to do that. And I looked into the dollar amount, $129 and some odd change from last month. That does need to come out of Fall Fest funds to be transferred to general. For the festival foods things, yep, it does. We hired a new individual. His first name is Ethan, and he's also started the firefighter 1 on Tuesday night for us. EMS 2 individuals are signed up for EMR that starts at the end of January. Community education, January is National Blood Donor Month. I've already posted stuff on the Facebook page, so see that. Fundraisers, Papa Murphy's is working with us, and they're doing a fundraiser for us. January 27th, when they open at 10 until they close, 20% of all sales for the day will be donated to the fire department from Papa Murphy's. So if you look on the McMillan Fire Department's Facebook page, there's an event out there for this, and I will create flyers for our people to put out and get this advertised.
Any questions for Lori?
No.
Okay. Clerk's report.
All right, let's see here. We received notice of a salt storage inspection that I'm working with Deb and Rod to send back.
Oh, yeah, I'll pull that out tonight.
Um,
Got a copy?
yeah.
Okay.
we received another notice from the IRS stating that we have a credit of $7,177.17 for the period ended June 30th, 2021. Apparently to resolve this, we need to send in, it says if you are required to file this tax return, file it today at the address above. If you've already filed this return, send a newly signed copy to the address above. So I'm gonna try and find this, form and send it back. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know, do you have any tricks on how to get it delivered to the IRS that they'll get it? So I sent it once from my regular job, my day job, two things to file it for automatic extension. The IRS never got them. I sent them USPS. They said, oh, I never got it, so you got a penalty. So then I had to fight with them for, 6 months to eliminate this penalty, which was in the thousands of dollars. So I'm trying to avoid sending it USPS, but there doesn't seem to be any options. Mine was going out to Ogden, Utah. This one's going to Cincinnati, so I'm a bit hopeful there that maybe that's just a less busy mail facility.
You can't send it to the IRS and have them sign for it, but you can send it certified.
I was gonna say,
So that you can
certified,
track
they have
that.
to sign for it.
Okay. No, you don't, no, they won't sign for
So-
anything.
Oh, they won't sign
No,
for anything?
I sent it certified last time, and then I called her, I talked to the postmaster, and he's like, yeah, so, I don't know, and it was a bad situation, so, I can try and send it certified just for a little bit of more peace of
But
mind.
not for a signature. 'Cause
Okay.
they won't accept it with a signature.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's even a sign, it's at the post office for the IRS.
Okay.
So,
Is there a phone number to call to see?
oh, sure, sit on.
Yeah, my
about
experience
3 hours.
is, the last time I called IRS is, they say, we're too busy, you have to call back,
call
you can't
later.
even stand on hold.
Really?
Apparently the key is to say that you speak Spanish. And get connected with a bilingual person, and then say, oh shoot,
Oh,
I hit
I
the
actually
wrong
speak
button.
English, and then they say, oh, okay, no problem, let me just switch over to English. So that's the key if you wanna get to the IRS, I guess that's the trick.
The better way to handle this is by paper. Okay, so you got documentation. But, yeah, I would send it to where you can track it.
Okay, I'll do my best to work on this week.
Keep a copy.
And get it sent in.
At least we don't owe them 7,000.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy that there's a credit,
If it's an actual credit.
yeah, I don't know, I mean, it's weird that, well,
That seems
I'm not
Should
quite
have
sure
some
what's going on,
interest on that too.
Well, there'll be interest on it.
Well, we probably are, no, it's just saying that we sent them money, but we didn't say, oh, here's why we're sending you money. So if
Is
there's
that what it
no,
was
I think so, so it's just missing the 941 for this period.
for June?
So, yeah, so they're gonna say, oh, okay, you owed $7,100, we're all square now, so.
Uh-huh.
Or they might send another one saying, well, you filed late, here's a penalty for $50. I don't know, so I'll try my best to,
Did we send one in, a 941 in reconciliation for that recently? I know there's been a couple of them.
yeah, you know what, I will look to see, there was one that I filed that I got a notice saying that we were late on, I think it was March. I'll look back.
Okay, then we've only got September and December.
Yeah, I hope not, oh man.
No, they're a pain in the butt. I think they have some.
Yeah.
I do, because I run into that.
Yeah, I think
now.
so too, because
Yeah.
they get so many in, but they're not gonna admit that they're making mistakes.
Oh,
They're just
hell
gonna
no.
say, oh, sorry, you goofed up, so.
Yeah.
We'll try and get that, rectified. I received 2 open records requests and responded to 2 open records requests. Let's see, I did some small updates on the website. I'm trying to keep it up to date as much as I can. I've gotten some feedback, for bigger projects to do, which I'll tackle, when I get some time to do that, but, I updated the 2025 garbage and recycling calendar. I put the 2024 financials on there, and then I renewed the expiring SSL, so it's that's the secure socket layer. So if you don't have that, you get a warning saying your connection is not secure, so nobody's going to want to go there. So you have to have those in place. So, I had to do some figuring out on how to do that, but we got that taken care of. We had issued, 2 sanitary permits were issued, one on Elm Tree Road and one on Galvin. And then, kind of piggybacking off what Lori was talking about for the, transfers from Fall Fest to, the main checking, I looked, so ahead of this meeting, I ran a report of the transfers between July 2024 and today, and there was one transfer from the Fall Fest account to the checking account for $16,522.53. So in the Fall Fest account, there's, we had $16,652.05 of expenses. That difference is the $129.52. But I did not see any transfers for the November election brought Friday. So
That
those,
doesn't come out of Fall Fest. That comes out of the brat fry money that I give Donna.
And it goes right into Fall Fest. It doesn't.
So it actually comes out of Fall
And
Fest.
the expenses come out of the money that I give her.
Right. She gives me the net.
No, I give you the gross, I give you everything.
Yeah, I'm sorry, yes. And then I don't know how they do their bills.
so that money got deposited into the Fall Fest account.
So that would have to come out of
So
Fall
a
Fest.
transfer needs to occur to pay for the expenses, because the expenses were paid not with cash, but with checks issued by the town of McMillan. So, that amount, the total amount, so there's one charge for $88.88, one for $109.19, and then the $129.52. So the total that needs to be transferred from Fall Fest to the main checking is $327.59.
Is that including the $42.23 from the brat fry?
You buy more? No, we don't. We
Yeah,
just
that's,
have left from Fall
what
Fest.
you're talking about is just the difference from the budgeted amount to the actual amount.
So, okay, so they don't actually buy more rocks.
We use what we have left from Fall Fest. And the hamburgers.
And you've
too.
already billed that, right?
There's $88.88 of
But I
expenses
do
and
know we did have-
$109.19.
no, no.
I don't know what it
I'm
is.
not
It's
arguing that.
2 from Festival Foods.
I'm not arguing that.
Okay.
Those festival foods receipts do need to be, I mean, you paid them. But usually what happens is when I get down on cash, those bills should come out of the cash before it goes into the Fall Fest account. But if we need
I
to,
don't
we
think
don't
that's
do
how,
if
No,
we need
we
to take,
don't, we don't
No,
pay,
no,
we
we
don't
make
pay
one-
bills
no,
on
we
cash.
don't do that.
if we need
No.
to take the 327 out, then that's what we need to do, to make everything even.
Yeah, we can't be paying bills with cash, that's,
No, and I wouldn't know because I wouldn't even know which bills they were. So that, he takes care of those. So when you give me the money, you get a deposit slip and it goes right into the account. We don't separate anything out.
Then the 327 doesn't even come out then.
great.
Okay,
So we need checks to approve?
Yeah, do you wanna make a motion to move that money now?
Oh, for that drops.
Yeah, the three-
that'd be good.
$327.59 from Fall Fest to Maine.
I'll make that motion. We'll transfer $327.59 from Fall Fest into the general checking.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now we have, are you done with your?
Yep.
Okay. Checks to approve.
I move to approve checks 20500 through 20532, and then 201205 through 201212.
Need a second?
I'll second that for discussion.
So, the one question that I have, and I should have clarified this with you, John, first, Carl Webking, that money came from the state, right? So I don't know if it goes back to Carl, or if it goes back, because the reservation was under Carl,
Yeah.
but the check came from
So I was
somebody else.
hoping that we could just push that problem onto him.
Oh, okay, fair enough,
And
all
then
right,
he can
okay,
Yeah.
send it back as a
okay,
reimbursement or something.
all right, whatever, that's fine with me, okay.
And I did have the Lucy Lang,
Yeah, and I
So,
looked
yeah,
through the window,
okay,
because I
that's what
couldn't get
I-
in the building, but.
I figured most people would get it back, so I figured I'd put it on there.
So now I did it to you too.
Yeah, and Casey, that damn door.
I can't figure it out, it was just crazy.
Can't get the door open at all now?
I'll get it open. I got a hammer.
I thought there was all new stuff in there.
There is.
Tom put it in.
I don't know
The
what.
one door is
What
not
the
working.
heck?
Any questions on the checks? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, got budget actual. Does anybody have any questions on that one? And then we have the bank reconciliation. And funds transfer, I'm guessing we'll be able to do them at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, we have nothing else to do. So you're doing the bank reconciliation? Okay, so I've got the numbers for you. I thought you might be interested in. So the town, the whole town, the total assessed value is 203,970,100. That is what the town is worth.
this year, or 2024.
24, being 25. Okay, so, we need to collect between the taxes and the MFLs. We need to collect $4,106,010.71. That's the total taxes.
Run that back in, $4,106,000.
$4,106,010.71. That's what's on the tax bills. Now, the garbage is separate, because that's a special charge. It's not an assessment, it's a charge. So we're collecting $240,221.47. As of the end of December, I collected $125,896.68. About half, just under half. That was the same for everybody's bills, schools, ours, and whatever. At the end of December, I deposited, now you have to remember, I was in here 31st, the 30th. Those don't get to the bank because I'm sitting over here. I can't get up in the middle of collecting and go to the bank. So they get deposited in January. But at the end of this December, and I know this number was asked of us last year, the deposits in the bank at the end of December, $906,901.40. And so all that, the total taxes that were collected that one, this is just the taxes that were collected through the 31st. They get posted to that day, but I might not enter them until the 6th because they're postmarked. By the time they get to me, they may be coming in a little later. And that's why we wait till now to close with the county. So, general taxes, remember I collected $125,000 plus for the garbage, but I collected $1,749,549.20. $1,749,549.20. That's what I collected to balance out our settlement with the county. They go through the December 31st, and now I'm working on what'll happen for the end of January. So in February, we'll be writing big checks again.
Yeah, I thought we wrote some big ones this month.
You wrote some big ones. Just about half of what everybody wanted, just under half. And that's normal, that's about what we do every year. So I just wanted to throw those numbers at you so you realize that, it's big monies. That's why it's big monies on your checks today.
So these outstanding checks and ACH, it looks like we're in the negative right now.
We are, we're gonna have to transfer. It's in the checking, it's in the tax account, which we're gonna ask for that.
Oh,
So
okay,
what
thank
we
you.
did was we issued the Man Street check to Earth
Yep.
December 30th. And then, whatever happened, we tabled the fund transfer. So we didn't have enough cash in the checking account. So what we did was we held that check until now. I notified Earth the next day saying, look, you know, we failed to do this thing. So we can't issue this check right yet. We're gonna do it on the 13th. We'll send out the check right away after that. So, yeah, on the bank reconciliation, we do have a negative balance of $602,000
Yes.
in the checking account. However, since we held that check for $620,000, whatever it was, to Earth, we never overdrafted, we weren't
Okay.
in danger of that.
We have 709,000
You
for
should've
outstanding,
Transferred all.
and that would be included in that.
Yeah, so
Yes.
in that was the big Earth check, so,
Okay, that's why that's so high.
And
yeah.
that's where we got cranberries.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, so are there any questions on those parts first?
No.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into transfers. Okay, so you've already done the one for Lori. Now, John, would you like to do it so that they know how you're gonna put that in there? We've discussed this and we agree on.
yeah, so, I kind of want to do this in steps. So the fund transfer, this is for item 8D. Don and I agree that we should transfer $1.45 million from the tax savings to the main to pay for all the checks.
Okay, so,
That's out of the tax account.
oh, that's not on the sheet.
I was gonna say it's not on here, so.
Yeah, this is where I'm like,
What do you
I
It's
only
the-
see 490.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
wait, wait, wait.
the current balance, that's from the current balance, so Don's been, you know, putting all the money in there that she's been collecting.
This is the end of December now. Remember that this balance.
Right.
Let's go through.
So we are looking to transfer from 25's taxes,
Well,
24, 25's for January's bills. The taxes that you've collected, we're transferring from that.
to pay those bills, we'll have to,
Yeah.
because we didn't even have it,
Okay.
you know.
And that number's not reflected on the sheet.
No, this is the end of December, that money's not even in there, wasn't even in there yet, now it is. Because, you know, as they come in late, they're not there for December 31st. You
And the
know?
only reason why I'm clarifying this is because when I look at this in 3 months, I'm gonna be like, what? And I just need to,
Yeah,
Call
the
it out.
taxes come in, you know, they come in every day,
yeah,
but
I did.
the county needs settlement on the 15th.
Okay.
Which is in 2 days, which means that once these checks come out today, I'm gonna have to go to all these entities because I don't trust the mail, to put them in the mail. Today's the 13th.
Yeah. So I move to approve moving 1.45 million from tax savings to main checking account. Unless there was more to add to that step.
No, but-
Repeat that amount again, from the tax account.
John,
1.45 million.
okay, that's gonna take care of that. Now,
So, no, so we've only got, a motion made, so I still
Yeah.
need a second on that
I'll
one.
oh,
second that.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
who set for, who made
Nicole was the
Okay.
motion maker, Dave seconded. For reference, we have, $2.5 million in the tax savings
Thank you.
today.
Okay. Is everybody clear on that? Okay,
Okay, hold on. We have a motion on the table.
sorry.
Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So that transfers me.
So now I'm looking to go to number 9, 2024 year-end transfers. So this one is going to be a multi-step situation. So please reference the Town of McMillan Financial Report Bank Reconciliation Statement. My proposal is to, the amount that's in 655 tax savings account, that is the ending balance of what was in there for '24?
Before I started collecting taxes. So normally at the end of the year in December, we close out that tax account, so there's no confusion as to what the end amounts were and what we had. So that 494, you put 400,000 in there, remember that? You put 400,000 in that, and then number that you borrowed. That's that money and whatever was left in the checkout, in that account from last year. So that would have brought that tax account to 0. I think the 18th of December is the day that we check with the banks to get that number. Okay, that's all the interest, that's everything. That tax account became 0. Okay, so that one, and now let it go, so you know.
So, I suggest moving all that money, $494,153.33, and 9072 restricted cash ARPA funds, moving all that money, the 235,099.13, both of those into 9838 highway funds to money market.
So then,
So that dollar amount, that 494 and change,
yeah,
plus the 235,099.13,
Yeah,
those will, all three of those then go into the highway funds to money market account, the 9838 number. So that account will now be that total of those three. So
Which is
that,
what?
gosh, I didn't add it up, did you? Okay. I'll add it for you. I did add it.
No, I've got a spreadsheet, hold on.
Thank you.
Oh, 1.1 million approximately.
Exactly, we need an exact amount, please.
So it'll be 1.1, or 1,108,199.52.
That is,
The ending money.
well, yeah, that's your kind of saved monies and part of your borrowed monies to get us through, okay? So that's,
So what you're looking for is a motion to transfer these 3 remaining funds altogether into 9838.
correct.
Yeah, transfer,
6055?
yeah, so in the motion, I will put it as the dollar amounts, so move $494,153.33 from 6055 tax savings account, and move 235,099.13 from 972 restricted, 9072 restricted
Yeah.
cash ARPA funds to 9838 highway funds to money market.
And that's still at 4%?
Yeah,
That is still at 4%. That's what they're going into this money market.
so then are we gonna close out the other two?
the tax savings will then perpetuate into the next fiscal calendar year. I do propose that we cancel, close out the 9072
The ARPA one, that needs to
That'll
be
be closed.
closed because it needs to be reported for JIP laws.
Okay.
And that's-
So John read that really nice, so who would like to make that motion?
So moved what John said.
yeah, whatever he said.
So you got a first and a second.
So I have a question, has there ever been any thought given to taking a portion of that and putting it into a replacement fund for the fire department?
Putting a what, for what do you want?
A portion of this money
Oh,
put
yeah,
into a rate replacement fund for the fire department?
Right now, I think we have an awful lot of roads that need to be fixed.
I think in the future, we need to think about starting a rate
Yeah,
replacement fund for the
that
fire
does
department
need to
with
be
some of
done.
the year-end money.
Yeah, we've got these roads, we've pretty
I
much
understand you have roads,
committed to that.
but I think we need to start building a rate replacement fund for the fire
Yeah.
department.
Because I know we're gonna have to take 200,000 out of here for stock. That's for sure.
Just so you remember now, we got another 592,000, or is it 592,000 coming yet for the reimbursement from
Yeah,
AN.
from man.
Yeah,
From
so
man.
you're gonna have that too.
Mhm.
That's coming, we don't know when, but during the calendar year.
Not yet.
We've
I
not
feel like
had
they have to do is
application.
send in that certificate.
How much does
and
it
then the
cost?
bills and-
For the last
And the
FG grant
engineering.
they did, we did it for a tender, it was 250,000. And the price is only going up.
Well, we need to start putting something aside for numerous things, a truck and what have you.
No, that they got figured into the budget,
Yeah.
and the grant
Oh,
we got
yeah,
figured
right.
into the budget, and, I mean, that's where. Seems like we have an awful lot of money left over, that just kinda surprises me, the 494,000.
That's why I think maybe some of it, maybe
Well,
at
I
the end
think
of
it-
next year of 2025, should
Well-
start a rate replacement for the fire department and some of it.
The balance will go down.
I know,
No, immediately. So after this one, I have another motion, because we need to clear out that negative balance that's showing on the checking. So you're,
so we're, okay, so
We're
we're
not done,
looking at
okay.
this 1,108.
yeah, so this,
Or 1
I
million.
wanted to do this in stages because it's really
Okay, so then you're gonna
complicated.
take 602,000 off of there,
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Okay.
the ending balance is 505.
because I thought, God, that seems like an
yeah,
awful
no,
lot.
we haven't, we haven't moved, we haven't paid the
Okay,
bill
let's
yet.
move that one first. So we got a motion, a first and a second.
I mean, I'll,
So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I already
Opposed?
did that.
Did we vote on that?
No,
We did.
we
No.
had the motions made, but there was no vote.
I didn't think so.
I'm getting them all.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
getting
So
old.
It's a lot.
It's really quite convoluted, this whole situation, to try and consolidate all these things. I was telling Dave today, earlier, we were speaking, and it's easier when you have stuff to look at, so I'm glad that we can reference the financial report. I can also send this down the line. When I make stuff in Excel, I only make it for my personal use, so it doesn't necessarily make sense, generally speaking, but I've got here like what the actual balance is, and I've got the first move, where it's moving to, and then it's the result of that, and then I've got a second move from the money market to, is what I call it, so the highway funds, the money market, to the main. So anyways, the second part of this agenda item, I'm proposing to move at least $602,228,000, or $602,228.32.
From the 1,108,199.52.
Yeah,
And that's 9838, right?
Yeah, so,
Will be.
From there.
Two,
Will be.
Yep.
32.
and then,
And then put it where?
that's gonna pay those bills.
It's gonna go into the checking account.
Yeah, we'll go right into the checking account to pay that deficit we have. Now, you'll be left with what, about 400,000 or 500,000? 555,000, if I remember right.
505,000
Pound
and some
5.
change. 505-971-20.
I'll look
Read
at
that
that.
again.
505-971-20.
Yeah,
Okay,
and that's gonna be moved to checking.
No, the 602.
602, yes,
Yeah.
yes, got it.
So I move to approve moving 602.28.32 to checking.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
and that brought your checking account to basically zero
So
for
now,
December 31st.
That was a lot of work for December 31st.
Yeah, down to zero, yeah.
I know.
We'll go zero on
any others? You're gonna need some money in there.
No, I think I'm good.
You're not
Yeah,
paying
money
our
coming
bills
in.
in January?
Well, because,
So we covered all the bills, we did that $1.45 million transfer
Oh, that,
there.
okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that'll cover you.
So we've got 108,000 in there now. This 602 transfer cleared out the deficit, so we're sitting right now at 108. And then we've got the 1.45, the checks that we wrote were 1.42, 44 or something.
Oh, I see.
So,
Or 2 to 4,
yeah, so we need to have some buffer in there to pay payrolls. The loan payment comes out of there, that's like 10,000 bucks, so, you know, we need to have some buffer there.
So you got that in there already.
Yeah, so I believe that we're all good to go. We've
So
got,
what was the balance in the checking at the end of the year?
0. In the check, well,
It-
with these transfers, it will
These
be at 0.
transfers.
after this transfer,
Yeah.
it would have been
0. We-
Okay.
And that's what our goal is to get
So-
that down
Yes.
to whatever, and put those monies in those other accounts.
So your checking account is fine.
Yep,
Okay, the 505,971.20 is gonna be the balance in the highway funds.
yep,
327.59 is coming out of Fall Fest.
yep.
Park savings account, you already did that one, correct?
Last month.
Yes,
we
did.
We
Okay.
approved that last month, yes.
And we still have a home.
And then January 1, you get transportation aids, that we get that first one. So we do have, it's not like you don't have any money, you do have money
Okay.
to pay bills. So, yeah, he's good.
So
Do you
we're all-
think in the future we can have like this many proposals that you could just write them down instead of us scribbling all down the number? That
yes.
you could just,
Yeah,
what
this
stuff
is
take-
my,
Yeah,
my
that
sheet looks
sounds,
pretty
that sounds
lousy.
good.
Is that-
I can put in a proposed
yeah, proposal, and then
things
we
to
can,
do all this, yeah.
I think
makes
that might
sense.
be
Okay.
helpful.
Yeah.
Or I could put it at the end of my reconciliation.
Okay, that
Okay.
works.
Yeah,
too.
well,
Thanks, so
John
that
and I
you
can
know,
work together and
Yeah,
come
we'll
up with
put
something
it,
that's.
I'll put it
that's-
on there so that you can
makes
see
sense, yeah.
where everything's coming.
Okay.
You know, with the reporting that we have to do for the state, we try to get that checking account down to 0, but you can't do that until January, if we get into January.
Right.
Because at the end of a month like that, you know, you just can't do it. We have outstanding things and stuff.
And that makes sense, I just, you know, with us all scribbling down all the
Yeah.
numbers, can you repeat it again, like if we all had it, I think it would just make it a little easier.
It's kind of last minute
I know.
because of what happens.
It doesn't have to be pretty, just,
But
you know.
also you've got the situation of, you know, you normally don't have this many money markets and all these things. The ARPA's were still out there, we never combined those. Normally you wouldn't have all that stuff.
Mhm.
Right.
It would be pretty simple.
So we're good with transfers?
Yes,
Okay, so we're all done with that.
yes.
Okay, tires for the grader and the oil leaks. Did anybody get any other prices for getting repairs on the oil leaks? I know you guys wanted to call the company that we got the grader from. Nothing?
We don't have the, I guess, what seals is he gonna,
For the oil leaks is what he's looking at fixing. And that came from Jeff Martins, he said he could do it for approximately, might be couple $100 either way, $28.40. That was the numbers we got. What is it, Rigs and Wrenches, they never did call me back for the price, so, or stop in to even look at it. So what would you like to do? I'd like to get the oil leaks fixed and then find out how long it's gonna take to get tires, because that might take a little while.
Okay, so give me the amount again for the,
2,840.
and that is,
For the oil leaks,
yes, but where is this going to?
the grader,
What, from what?
What, from the company?
Jeff's Wrench. He's over by.
He's up on 97, just south
Yeah.
of the country
Okay.
here.
so we're gonna drive it up there then?
You can. I think so.
I'm just asking a question.
Oh, we gotta see when we'd be able to get it in then, so.
And is there any other seals that aren't leaking, but because of its age, that he'd recommend being changed? I
Was
mean,
it the hydraulics that he's,
Well, the hydraulics, he said he could take a look at it, it's just a matter of getting seal kits. He said a lot of them, he might just be able to tighten up and
Take care of it that way.
take care of it.
Well, I was looking at if there's any, I mean, because for that amount of money, I assume he's gonna do a major tear on the motor to get some seals.
He's gotta do a short block on it, yeah. The top half has to come off so you can get all the seals replaced on it, or gaskets replaced.
Okay.
He's seen it before, that engine is known for.
Yeah, that's what the guy on there said to Lacrosse or whatever, when he was up one time doing other maintenance on it. Said it's a very common issue, so it's not,
So do we wanna do this, or?
How many hours are on there? Do we know how many hours on it?
I could walk up and look, but it's a lot.
Yeah. What is that, 99, that's 20, 5, 6 years old, I think.
Maybe 25 years old.
How many?
25.
I think it's 99.
Well, are you gonna drive it up there and have him check it out, and then when you,
He's already checked
When
it
we-
out.
He's
I
already
mean,
looked at it.
so,
When they max out at 2840, and then we're gonna,
you stop?
Well, he said it's an estimate of 2840. I mean,
So-
it could be a couple $100 more, could be a couple $100 less.
okay, he's gonna let us know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he's gonna bill us for it.
because he's
when he
pulling the
does it.
heads off it, right?
Is that what he's doing? Yeah.
Yes.
So then he'll do a full inspection on the head, so if
Yeah.
there's bad valves or
If
something
there's
is starting to
more.
work out, I mean,
Right.
I guess what I don't want is, I don't want to just pull the heads off, put the new gasket in and go, you know, once we get it back on, oh, yeah, you should replace a couple of valves or
Jeff does
valve
not
guys
operate
or
that
seals or whatever, I
He
mean,
does not operate that way.
No, he
Okay.
doesn't.
Whatever.
well, we haven't talked to him, so, but you had, so, I'm just making sure.
Well, we had the pizza business for 20 years, and he took care of our trucks, and we never had an issue. If there was something wrong, he called us. So I trust he'll do the same.
Because I look at it as we're putting money into it, we're keeping it for a while, so.
So what do we want to do?
Move to take it to Jeff's Wrench for approximately $2,840 worth of repairs.
Okay.
Second.
All right, so we got a motion on the table. Any more discussion? Did you raise your hand?
No, I mean, like I said, my only thing is if he finds more,
He'll let us
don't
know.
think that that's the end of the cash, because if there's more issues, I mean, if it's off, that's the time to fix it, not later.
Well, like I said, I've known him for 20 years, well, 30 years actually, so, God, a long time. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So what do you want to do about the tires? You want to get them ordered?
Maybe wait and see what he finds. I mean, once you tear it apart, maybe he's gonna find some other issues. I mean, it's
Okay.
25 years old. I mean, if we order them, if they'll take them back, or they'll,
Well, I'd like to find out how long it's going to take to get them.
well, I think that's
You know.
perfectly, I'm just, I
I
think
mean,
we
if
get
they're
it
talking
apart.
6 months to get tires,
Just, yeah. okay.
Yeah.
One thing there, that's an odd sized tire you've got on that grader. So like you're saying, if we find out it's not worth repairing it, then tires might be a side issue here.
mhm,
I would find out first how long it's gonna take to get.
right. I mean, I'm not going to order them. I just want to find out how long it's going to take to get
Just
them.
find out how long it's gonna take.
You know, I mean, if it's,
And the cost, you know, what.
well, we already know
whole
the
bit.
cost.
Yeah.
The cost was $9,333 for the tires.
Mm.
But I'd still like to know what is the lead time we need. So, anyway,
So you're gonna check that, and then,
Yeah.
then we're gonna,
we'll decide after we get, you know, the oil leak fixed, when, go from there.
Because we
We'll
have
have
two
an
companies for, at least 2 quotes for tires then?
Yeah, we did. Pumps was one for, what the heck was it, 14?
It was probably double what,
It was 14 or 15,000,
yeah,
and this was from, what was it, TJ's?
2 days up to.
Yeah, for 9,333. Right. So I'll check on the tires. You wanna get a hold of Jeff and see when he can get that in there? Or you want me to do that?
I can call him.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, approved fire chief.
we already did that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
You read, if you go back in the minutes, in October, I looked it up, because I thought, well, why are we doing
Is that
this?
in minutes in
Uh,
October? Because I don't remember them.
October 14th, it was presented by Assistant Fire Chief. And then on the minutes here, I had it, I found it here. I think in the minutes it said that the next month, we approved it, and it had the list of all the officers that were approved. And we approved the minutes, so I thought,
No, we did not approve the fire chief.
So
yeah, the fire chief was on that list.
That does not mean we approve the fire chief. We have to do that separately.
The minutes from October say that this is under the fire department report. Says the fire department elected the following officers: Chief Lloyd Bauer, First Captain Pat Weigel, Assistant EMS Coordinator Josh Alexander, Treasurer Janet Peralty, and Secretary Allison Kittle.
Yeah, and then the next month, we had that on there, then we approved it. So that to me is an approval of all of them. Am I wrong?
I believe so.
Well, why was her name on there and it's approved? I mean, I don't, that just,
The chief needs board approval.
all of them. They were all of them, that whole list, and it's in the notes.
John, can you find it in the minutes?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
So I think that what's happening is, I think that it's true that the fire department, voted to approve, their people.
Yeah,
But I don't see any agenda item for the town board to approve. So in November, there was no agenda item that was to
wait a
approve,
minute.
like, what do they call it? I don't see
We don't
anything where
need
the
to
town
vote the
approved the
We just
officers.
approved the fire chief according to the ordinance.
Yeah, so I don't see that was in the, there was no agenda item for the town board to approve
No,
the,
there wasn't, but in the, well, I don't know. Remember, I had told you that, I'd spoken to you about amending the minutes because that list was in there and that they
Yeah.
were all approved.
yeah, so what I'm saying is I think that it was approved by the fire department, but not ratified by the town board. I don't show any motion where the town board ratified the election of officers by the fire
I know
department.
that's what you're saying, but when you approve the minutes, what you had have it in there in October, and in November, we approved the minutes for October, and that list was in there.
All you
Doesn't that
did-
mean it's the list?
All you
Doesn't that
did
mean
was
approval?
approve her.
I think it was
report. You
approving
did-
what the fire department did,
Yep.
approving that the fire department had an election.
Okay,
That's all it was. We didn't approve the fire chief.
okay, well, anyway, that was my understanding.
So we need a motion.
I make a motion to approve the fire chief.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
What's the length of term on that?
2 years.
2 years.
Sorry.
Roll call vote, John.
Rod,
I'm gonna abstain for obvious reasons.
Nicole,
No.
Dave,
Yes.
Carolyn,
Yes,
Deb.
No. Motion failed.
okay, so now you have a problem.
Yep. Now
If
we have
the
an
ch-
assistant fire chief, and you guys are gonna have to go back and come back to somebody else.
First of all, you have no fire chief.
We have
At
an
the end of the
assistant fire.
year, if you have not, because this was on the agenda before, and we went right over the top of it. And Lori told us, I don't know, I may remember this wrong, but this, my understanding was that, and you'll have to correct me, Lori, if that's true. If you do not have a chief at the end of the year, you will not be eligible for your 2% dues.
If you do not have a chief by January 1st, you're not eligible for your 2% dues.
Which is $15,000. So that's why I went back to look at all of this.
But if you don't appoint your chief immediately by the 31st.
But it was
that
on the
chief
agenda
carries
and we
into
skipped
the
right
next.
over it.
It's on the agenda for tonight.
It was on the agenda previously.
What agenda?
The one when we went into one of the closed sessions. Is that correct?
Yes.
What was the date?
Is that
December 9th.
What was it?
December 9th.
It was on the agenda for
Correct.
December 9th, and we
Is it on the
went
agenda?
right over
Item
the top
18.
of it.
It's in the notes. Item 18, approved fire chief.
Yeah, it was on the agenda for December 9th.
Yep, and we
So
didn't
what
do
is
it.
the note? Well, if we didn't do it, then.
So now, what happens to your 2% dues?
Well, we still have a fire chief.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Because you have an assistant fire chief, you have to find an
Well, we had
interim.
it,
You have to find an interim fire chief.
so what does the assistant fire chief do?
He's not, he doesn't become the interim. He helps assist me in daily functions, but his function is different than what the fire chief is. The assistant fire chief has got other responsibilities, and the chief is responsible for all the state responsibilities. So now you have to find an interim chief, and so you can figure out who's gonna be chief. And Adam is not willing to be, well, he is, I talked to him, he is willing to be the interim chief.
But that had to be done by January 1st to get your 12%,
I
or
talked to
2% dues.
Correct, but I talked to Aaron at the state, who's auditing the 2% dues. If we get an interim chief in place ASAP, we're still eligible. But you need to have an interim chief and your assistant chief. You just can't say, okay, our chief is now the assistant chief. Because that's a different role than what the chief is.
Well, I understand that, but he would take your place if you're not available, correct? On any other aspect.
Correct. But for state purposes, you have to have an interim chief in place.
And Adam is willing.
I talked to him and he said yes.
And he will, then they will go along with that, even though we're past the 1st?
The state,
Yes. Is that what he said?
that's what Aaron did express, yes.
So then we need a motion for an interim of Adam Knapp.
But according to your ordinance, you also have to give the reasons as to why you're declining me as the chief.
I think it's poor leadership, for one.
But who thinks it's poor leadership? Are we allowed to talk?
No, you're
Poor
not.
leadership.
Because I've requested many things that I don't get.
Like what have you requested that I have not given you?
Agendas, minutes.
Is this for open?
That's what I was wondering.
Oh, we can go into closed session. because
Well,
it is on there.
we had closed session and you called them in and then it never got discussed.
We discussed what we wanted at that point.
Right, but that wasn't my performance.
That wasn't-
Okay,
that
well,
wasn't
we
it.
need a motion for an interim fire chief at this point. For Adam Knapp.
Is that on agenda?
Well, we
Which
have
is
to have
it?
somebody in place.
I think it would be germane for a motion to appoint an interim chief if there's no fire chief approved. It would be germane to the topic of approved fire chief, in my opinion.
Okay,
Retroactive
covers
to
it.
January 1st.
and that covers it.
Retroactive to January 1st, John?
I don't know that I can speak on that.
You don't have to.
I don't see why it's worth a
John, we
shot,
have
you know?
to. We don't have
John,
to.
you don't have to retroactive.
No.
So that it failed to approve her.
Mhm.
So I move to approve interim chief as Adam Knapp for the fire department.
Can I get a second? I'll second it for discussion. We need a fire chief. Any discussion
What's the timeline on this?
tonight, from my understanding?
Right, because they have to be in place ASAP, because then they will take care of the audit on January 27th.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, John?
Rod,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Aye.
Deb.
Aye. And now we will, let's see, back shop furnace we already discussed. So we'll get some numbers for that. And we'll be going into closed session
Can I
regarding.
ask a question on the first thing?
Pardon?
Can I ask a question on the first thing?
Sure.
So right now it's a tube ones in the wash bay, right? And tube in the back?
Yes.
So, what you asking?
For the tubes, radiant tubes, that's what's in.
Two in the wash bay.
Yeah. So what did we have before that? You said we had a forced air one,
Yeah, they were the, like those Modines and style.
regular air makeup unit, like,
Yeah.
you guys, you don't have that over there anymore, because we put radiant in over there, it's like what we used to have.
Right.
Sucking cold air, both.
Right.
Yeah, those things were not very good. What furnace did he kind of talk about or recommend? I mean, this isn't a regular
I
house
don't-
furnace.
I
this
don't
is
know
a-
off the top of my head.
It sucks air, it's a heat exchanger, it heats the air, it doesn't heat the equipment like the radiant heat does.
Yeah.
It's just to heat the air in the back shop.
So it's not a huge air makeup unit, it is
No.
a huge furnace, per se.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Any other questions?
No, I just didn't know what, Rod referred to what was in there before, I didn't know if it was air makeup. If we had a, per se, house furnace. No,
How many years ago did we change the one at the fire station?
that wasn't that long ago.
No, it's gotta be probably pushing 15.
Yeah. Because that one never did get, that one never did work either. That was, put it in 95, because that's set out as a slab.
Yeah, air makeup units were,
Yeah. And the radiant heat is a whole lot different than that other stuff.
no, I mean, it's, we got them in the shop too, I mean, there's a lot of heat that comes out of them, I just wonder what's the efficiency of that compared to heating the air?
I don't know if I don't have the numbers from them yet,
Okay, I'm sorry.
so. All right, let's go into closed session regarding personnel matters. To consider McMillan Town employee performance evaluation and to consider hiring McMillan Town employee and compensation.
In my shop, I just put it in.
Thanks, John. Siren.
Hey, John, do you know where we get our settling from, like we have a contract or with somebody or?
All I know is that we just paid a bill to Air Gas for like 5,
Who's paid a
Did
bill?
you write something?
Air Gas,
Yeah.
Air Gas.
Okay, are they-
We'll talk about the tanks
Well, thank you.
when we get
It
done.
sounds like they're gonna get it from Mississippi.
Okay, yeah, we gotta get some settlement.
I don't have any records of like buying
Last
something
time
that I
it
can
was
buy.
bought.
Well, how many places sold them? Like Coles used to sell that sort of gas.
you know.
I know that it's
He used to sell it at the auto parts place.
probably got another truck.
Those three places, I knew.
Oh, that'd be about
He's
it.
hurt his poor.
If we had punch cards.
Okay, then we convened into open session, there was no action taken, and now we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are done.
Can we sing happy birthday?
No, I gotta get rid of them.
Does that have anything left?
She got a really sharp knife.
No, I don't think so.
Tomorrow we'll shift all that.
Hey, Rod. Where's Rod? Rod? Bert, can you guys come up here a second?
Yeah. Well, why don't we just get two right away? We said we need oxygen.
Because we got oxygen
What
yet.
about
We'll see if
cranberries?
there's.
Oh, okay.
Watermelon, cranberries?
Pick out which one is the least. John's kids.
The kids are going.
John's kids. Grandkids. Here, this is one of your kids. They'll like them, they're very, they're cherry. All right, guys, we gotta fill this out. You might be at work when they come.
If I know when they're coming.
Well, you're not gonna know until 15 minutes. I think they said, usually, these inspections take like 15 minutes. Yeah,
No, I'll actually be in town tomorrow.
they don't take long, but, okay, would you like to be present during the inspection? In order for them to inspect, we're going to have, be there.
We won't have to.